Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and my friends, the supply crisis is real. And I think that most people in the world of crypto have no earthly understanding of how little crypto remains, of just how scarce these assets are. And it's not that you'll never be able to have an opportunity to purchase Bitcoin or XRP or any cryptocurrency that ends up having long-term viability. But thanks to supply and demand dynamics, it's going to be much more highly priced than most people are anticipating. I firmly believe this is true for Bitcoin, and I believe that you will find this to be true for XRP so long as it does indeed continue to gain real-world adoption, because in the end, my investment thesis does remain that utility matters and will win the day. I acknowledge now in 2020 in December as I'm recording this, not enough people sufficiently care about utility. But it's really more so like people just get an idea there's something to the asset class, and so money does keep pouring in, but people, it's hard for them to get a grasp of which cryptocurrencies are going to be winners and losers. And that's why for me, I will only buy cryptocurrencies that do something, which is why I've been so interested in XRP in particular over the last few years. And so check this out, because I know I've been talking about this on the channel every now and then over the last few weeks in particular, but this is not something I'm just making up. I got two stories on this today because the story's not going away, my friends. Take a look at this. PayPal already consuming more than 100% of new Bitcoin supply, says Pantera Capital CEO. Now think about that. This is happening from one company on the planet when we are nowhere near a point where there's not even close to even half of entities that could be participating in the space that I think will be participating in the space. It's not here yet. And we see the direction things are going. We see what this market cycle so far, it's been institutionally driven, but we're talking about one freaking company. And yeah, I get it. They're massive. Fine, fair enough. Hundreds of millions of users. Okay, super duper. But there are other entities that are gigantic. There are institutional investors that are coming on board, and there will be publicly traded companies, and there will be billionaires that are jumping in, and there's not that much Bitcoin available today. And we know that XRP does undeniably, absolutely, it's just a fact of life, it does follow the price action of Bitcoin. And you're also going to see, so not only is that awesome for us, as you see headlines like this, not only is it awesome that XRP follows the price action of Bitcoin for that reason, you will see additional adoption from, I believe, publicly traded companies as well as institutional purchasers as time passes. Here's another headline, same topic, from the Daily Hodl. On-chain analyst says Bitcoin supply crisis highly underrated and extremely bullish. My friends, I think the average person seriously doesn't have this information. So arm yourself with the information and understand I don't have a financial background. I am not offering financial advice. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just saying arm yourself with data, and on top of that, don't emotionally buy and sell. Use logic and data to decide what you're going to do. Maybe talk to a financial professional, which I am not. But be aware of this information. Arm yourself with as much knowledge as you can. There's almost no Bitcoin available on the market. Are you hearing this? And so what we're seeing is an increase in demand and a decrease in available supply. And there's barely any humans on the planet here yet. And this is why I keep saying you will see, as time passes, a multi-trillion-dollar asset class emerge. And those cryptocurrencies that offer utility, that solve a real-world problem, those are the coins that I believe will be here indefinitely. And I personally believe that XRP is one such coin because it's getting used. It actually is. I'm seeing that ramp up. And I know how little there is. And I'm kind of happy that the people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, they hear 100 billion XRP, that's the max supply. That's a ton. That's never going to go anywhere. And I love that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I love that I do know what I'm talking about, and I do understand just how little XRP there actually is, because consider that 0.002% of humans, that's it, have ever held XRP at any point in their lives. 0.002%. And even with just that little bit, XRP ran up to almost $4. I'm telling you guys, people have no idea what's in store in the coming years here. There's going to be such a liquidity crunch. There's going to be such little supply that what happens as more institutions with tons of money, the types of entities that have more money than God, when they jump in, holy freaking hell. And so to me, that's why I am Mr. Patient. I'm just going to sit back And I understand like these viewpoints, they're not well understood. They're not mainstream opinions. But if what I'm saying were already mainstream, then the opportunity to make a fortune wouldn't be there. If everybody already agreed, that means it's too late. But most people haven't even researched. They just have these preconceived notions, and they don't understand simple supply and demand dynamics. They don't understand why certain cryptocurrencies deserve to be around forever and will. There's so many people that don't get it, and they, oh my God, multi-trillion-dollar market cap, is that much money going to float? Well, no, but it doesn't have to, and they don't know that either. Oh my God, there's 100 billion XRP, that's never going to be worth something. Wrong, don't be an idiot stick. And almost no humans have purchased it and almost went to $4. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. So arm yourself with knowledge. So let's dig into this piece, though. In an interview with CNBC, Dan Morehead, the CEO of Pantera Capital, has mentioned that U.S. giant PayPal is already absorbing more than 100% of all newly mined Bitcoin. I'm sorry, my fellow XRP community members, do you think that might be significant? Do you think? Here's a quote. "We have buyers now, like PayPal, who just themselves are consuming more than 100% of all the Bitcoins that are issued." And again, guys, XRP follows Bitcoin. A little over a month ago, Pantera Capital estimated that PayPal alone was gobbling up 70% of the cryptocurrency's fresh supply. With its competitor, Square, their cumulative share was well over 100%. PayPal's pivot to crypto, which was officially announced on October 12th, has received plaudits from almost all corners. On top of making Bitcoin more attractive for mainstream audiences, the company also ended up making its stock more attractive for analysts, with major advisory firm Evercore partners recently giving it a much coveted shout-out. PayPal's crypto volumes are likely to grow even bigger when the company begins to allow the spending of digital coins at merchants in early 2021. Over 65% of its users are ready to use the feature, a December survey showed. And their stock, look at this is kind of cool too. PayPal stock is up 120% year to date. Then they have this little subheading here, a supply crunch is real. Please be aware of this. My fellow humans out there, my fellow XRP community members, just make yourself aware of this knowledge. You do what you want. I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but be aware of this. I think this is of the utmost importance. I think the average human, even in crypto, doesn't freaking get it. Morehead's words are the latest confirmation of an ongoing supply and liquidity crisis that is believed to be the main catalyst for its head-spinning 125% rally. As reported by You Today, only 12% of Bitcoin's total circulating supply is actually liquid. In the interview, Morehead also took notice of the drastic shift in a market climate that is now dominated by bigwig investors and large institutions. And here's a quote. In 2017, there was obviously a media frenzy around it. There were all kinds of newly issued tokens that really didn't have any basis to exist. There really was a speculative frenzy. This is being driven by the most famous global macro investors. This is being driven by public companies like Square, PayPal, and MicroStrategy. And so, my friends, I just want to make clear, this is not some sort of thing that I just came up with and I'm just pushing. Like, there's data out there that is proving this to be the case. We know the direction it's heading, and we know it's increasing, and we know not just that it's increasing, but that it's exponentially increasing. We know that XRP follows the price action of Bitcoin, and we know that as adoption continues, and we've seen this too, more institutional money does flow into altcoins like Ethereum and XRP. We know this to be true. And as time passes, it's going to become increasingly clear that there's going to be multiple winners. And I personally think that XRP is going to be one of them. I personally do. And if I'm wrong, fine. Maybe I lose everything. I'm not pretending this isn't risky. I'm a big boy, though. But as this continues to occur, and there's additional confidence instilled, in participants within the asset class, people that want to diversify into crypto, as it becomes clear that their staying power, as more time passes, more money is going to flow in. And it will continue to increase exponentially. I firmly believe that. That's my everyday Joe Schmo opinion. Fine. To me, the writing's on the wall. Take a look at this. The Daily Huddle. On-chain analyst says Bitcoin supply crisis highly underrated and extremely bullish. On-chain analyst and chief technology officer at Glassnode, Raphael Schultz-Kraft, says investors are underestimating just how much demand for Bitcoin is outstripping supply. Raphael points to the number of Bitcoin addresses that have never spent funds and the amount of Bitcoin that's presumably lost, estimating they account for 5.7 million Bitcoin that's unlikely to ever be sold. And you see varied numbers. There's some other recent reports I saw like 4 million, but so maybe it's that, maybe it's 5.7. It's a ton. It's an absolute ton, though. Anyway, in total, the analyst says the blockchain intelligence provider's data shows the vast majority of Bitcoin is held by illiquid entities, and miners that hold large amounts of Bitcoin do not appear interested in selling. And here's a quote: 14.4 million Bitcoin is held by illiquid entities. That is 78% of the total of the current supply. Illiquid entities spend less than 25% of the Bitcoin they receive, acting as supply sinks in the network. Yes, only 12% of the Bitcoin supply is liquid, according to this metric. Are miners cashing out at these prices? I don't think so. The amount of miner unspent supply, Bitcoin that has never left the miner address, has been increasing since the last halving. Current miner balance 1.7 million Bitcoin. So the piece continues. As institutional investors increasingly enter the market, Raphael says liquidity is vanishing from exchanges. Check out this quote. This is going to drive up prices like freaking crazy. And I believe you're going to see the same institutional adoption in terms of XRP over time, which means it's not going to be available in the market if someone is holding it in cold storage that has deep pockets. And it's just supply and demand, my friends. But check this quote out. We're seeing the longest depletion of exchange funds. Since January, the Bitcoin supply on exchanges dropped a staggering 20%. Bitcoin is being pulled to long-term storage, custodian wallets, etc. And so look, to anybody that says crypto is going away, maybe do a little bit more research and find out, be a curious enough human to think, what did I get wrong? Because the market is speaking and this is not going away. If it was some sort of flash in the pan thing, the first time there were a bubble that inflated, and then popped, it would just gone away. Instead, it keeps inflating and then popping, then inflating and popping, and then inflating. And every time this happens, you get a higher low. And so there's just more people coming in and more people that are here indefinitely. This is data. This isn't just some sort of opinion. That part is not just opinion. That's data. Like there's absolutely verified data to prove what I am talking about here. And so here's a quote from Raphael. Bitcoin is in a supply and liquidity crisis. This is extremely bullish and highly underrated. I believe we will see this significantly reflected in Bitcoin's price in the upcoming months. So again, writing's on the wall from my perspective. I'm just going to sit tight. Then there's this headline from the Daily Hodl. Kraken executive who bought Bitcoin at $10 says crypto supercycle possible. Here's how high Bitcoin may go according to Dan Held. A veteran crypto who bought his first batch of Bitcoin at $10 a piece is offering his take on Bitcoin's trajectory over the next year or two. Kraken's head of business development, Dan Held, tells Altcoin Daily that he believes the state of the global economy is creating a perfect storm for Bitcoin. Here's a quote. The macro at the very high level, what does the economy look like? It's pretty bad. The pandemic's not a good thing for the economy. Tons of businesses got shut down. Governments engaged in massive money printing operations. There's a lack of faith in the government. So pretty much a perfect storm for Bitcoin because Bitcoin was built and planted during the 2008 financial crisis to solve a problem of trust in storing value with governments. It removed that from them and gave it to people, and you could trust in mathematics and game theory instead of having to trust a politician and their body movements and interpreting that into monetary policy, which is what we do today. We watch an animal. We watch a human being do a random dance on TV, and then we interpret that as on they're dovish or hawkish on the economy, and that economy's plan for 400 million people, which is absurd. And the piece continues. Dan Held says the infrastructure built around Bitcoin, adoption from institutional investors, and support from companies like PayPal could fuel a Bitcoin supercycle in the months ahead. Here's another quote. At a macro level, we've never been in a worse spot in human history in terms of a macroeconomic environment. Never Never before, even during world wars, I would say it's an equivalent sort of experience. When we look at that and we combine that with Bitcoin's purpose and where Bitcoin is, Bitcoin just came off a halving cycle. It is being recognized as a global store of value, a gold 2.0. It's being recognized by institutions. It's becoming more liquid. More services are being built. A super robust trading infrastructure. You've got Kraken and all the other exchanges out there. You've got options now. Options in futures markets that are very developed that didn't really exist in 2017 at all. Then you also have good custody solutions and good reconciliation solutions. Everything's been built out and ready to go for a massive amount of money to come in. You've also got PayPal. You can buy Bitcoin on PayPal. A lot of people just like convenient services, so that taps into a huge amount of demand for Bitcoin. You've got the Bitcoin halving event, where the issuance of newly minted Bitcoin dropped in half, combined with increased demand from institutions and retail traders, plus the macro backdrop of the world economy. You've got the potential for a Bitcoin supercycle. Bitcoin only went to these 20x to 40x cycles purely on retail speculative demand. But now there's actually demand to preserve value against government seizing that value from you, or against other citizens voting for the government to seize that value. I hope you guys can see why I am excited about this. And I hope you feel the same way too. Whatever you want to do, again, I'm not offering advice to buy or sell, I don't care, whatever. But to me, there is such legitimate reason to be excited about all of this. It's definitely happening. We see what's happening within the market. We're here first. And so I just want to say congratulations to you for, number one, listening to the Moon Lambo channel, which is the best channel in all of the YouTubes. There's science behind it, I swear. But really, more seriously, because the average person is not paying attention, has no clue, or even if they researched it, they're just like, nope, not for me. And it's like, ignore this asset class to your own detriment. I really firmly believe that. It's not going away. It's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And here we are first. So congrats to you for paying attention. Whatever you want to do, go for it. I'm just saying congrats to you for at least doing what you need to do to make a freaking informed decision. But again, you were here. If you're listening to this as I'm speaking this in December 2020, you are here before the vast majority of the money that will ever end up being in this space. You beat them. And this is a once-in-a-species event. It's not going to happen again. That is it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.